Welcome to Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium.
All right, gang, welcome. It's Tuesday night. That's right, and we're back. Yes, gang, that's right. We are back in the seat. Back in my armchair, anyway. All right, gang, welcome. And I tell you what, gang, tonight we've got a show for you tonight, believe it or not, even though it's going to have kind of like an afterglow type of feel. And I'm still getting things kind of readjusted and situated and... yeah, gang. But anyway, gang, it's great to be back from vacation. No, that's not right. No, it's not great to be back from vacation. It's great to be talking to you all again. But anyway, gang, we'll see who is all here. Like I said, it has kind of like an afterglow feel for tonight. We're not overly scripted tonight. We're going to go over a couple things that are upcoming. And but don't worry, that's right. We've got some stuff to share. Well, still, yeah. Did you plug Rosie in before you left? Trouble is, did I plug her in coming back? That's the thing. Anyway, hey, there's North Jersey Detector. Oh, there's Ghost Talk with the Reisers. I tell you, that gal follows me everywhere, including Massachusetts. And hey, Willie, how are you? Mike, Mellyman 24. Hi. Finders Keepers. Hello. Ambient Girl, Relic Hunter. Hi. Yo Bengal, hello, and Hoosier Hillbilly, that guy, hey, how are you? And Digging with Deej, how are you? And Miss Paula Bloom, hi Miss Paula, and Willie, I said Willie, hi Willie again, and Tim Holmes, hi Tim Holmes, and welcome one and all to Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream, and oh, there's Dirt Diggers UK, hi, and I tell you, welcome one and all to the stream. Hey, there's David Carlisle, David's not here, man. And hi, TNC Diggers, hello! And I tell you what, I tell you, missed you all, and we were kind of took a 2-week hiatus. The first Tuesday we missed, unfortunately, was just too much to do. I had so much stuff I had to clear off my desk at work and kind of prep to be on vacation. And then I was really trying to do a live stream while on vacation at some kind of locale. It just didn't work out. We wound up having to leave, not having, but we left early, and I didn't know, a live stream in traffic just didn't, I don't know, just it kind of wasn't appealing. And although we probably could have, probably would have actually made an okay live stream. And but hey, we'll get more into that in a little bit. And hey there, what? That would have been entertaining. And All Metal Mike, hi, and I tell you what, and Blues, and I tell you, welcome one and all to the live stream. And you know, one thing, a couple of things in life that you should hold dear. And hey, there's Treasure Hunting SWTA, hi. You know, I have 3 kind of really standard rules of life. 1, never to smoke while laying down. 2, never drink when you're already laying on the floor. And 3, at all costs, you should avoid the George Washington Bridge. But yeah, gang, that's right. I tell you what, George Washington, what was I thinking? I've always took the Tappan Zee Bridge just for, yeah, that reason. And for whatever, I don't know, whatever crawled inside my brain said, just stay on 95. Just go across the George Washington Bridge. And yeah, I fell into that trap. It's a trap. It's a trap! But anyway, gang, I tell you. But yeah, we probably could have live streamed from the traffic. And, you know, now I think about it now, not then. You could have held the phone and I could have just rambled on for 3 hours. We could have had a 3-hour live stream. And, but I tell you, that in traffic gets nuts, even when you're moving. When you start to move, once you hit the George Washington Bridge, why, yeah, it just becomes nuts. I mean, oh yeah. But I tell you. Yeah, I tell you, North Jersey, and I had learned that lesson years ago. I have not used the George Washington Bridge, I bet you, in 25 years. I've always gone north, and I don't know. It was a weakness. But anyway, gang, welcome to the stream. And like I said, tonight has more of an afterglow feel, though we are going over some stuff, and we do have some media clips and history right along with it. And I tell you what, tonight's show is actually kind of making me really want to go back on vacation. And after, real quick, see, this is how much of an afterglow it is. I can actually freely ask questions. Do you know what the population of Salem was during the witch trials, by any chance? Okay, I gotta find that out. But we'll be touching into that, and yeah, we just kind of give you a little hint. We did go to Salem, Massachusetts, and we did call ahead of time, and they assured me that Sandy would be able to come and go, and nothing would happen. But no, I'm kidding. That's an old joke now. Hey, Ken Peavy, how are you? And I tell you what, gang. North Jersey, Texas says I avoid that whole area like the plague. Oh yeah, I caught the plague, all right. And four. They killed more than four. They killed the whole town. But anyway, gang. All right. Well, just to touch on some stuff that's coming up. Why, if you're reading the scrolling lettering down at the bottom, the New Year's Eve Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium Extravaganza community-sponsored giveaway donators. And you can read their names down there already. Now, she shows favoritism, but Sandy has already donated. We will be giving away a Garrett Carrot for New Year's Eve. That's right, for the New Year's Eve Extravaganza, we'll be giving away a pin pointer. And or if you want to donate anything else. Now, I already have Miss Linda Wallace down there because I'm actually saving some of her special coin necklaces for that event. And she also, too, sent in some coins. And I'm also going to kind of save some of them, as well for the New Year's Eve extravaganza. So don't miss out! Well, boy, yeah, so if you want to contribute, do send me whatever you want. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $10. I really don't care if it's 100, because if it's 100, we'll do 2. No, but anyway, but yeah, gang, that's right. If you send us whatever you'd like to donate, whatever is fine, because to some people, $1 is a lot of money, and to others, $100 may be not that much. So whatever you feel free or feel that you want to do send it, and we'll put you down there in a little scrolling and as a little thank you. And again, we'll be giving that away amongst other stuff. There'll be a lot of coins given away that night on New Year's Eve. So do look for it. There'll be some promos coming up for it, and yeah, should be a good time. It's going to be a 5-hour. That's not right. Yes, well, it's about right. Probably about 5.5-hour live stream. And there will be a scheduled event, so you know when to pop in or pop out, and you don't have to stay for the whole thing. And but yeah, gang, that's right. We'll be giving away a Garrett pinpointer AT. Or not fair. I have to stay for the whole thing. No, actually, we don't really at some points. But anyway, gang, so that's upcoming. New Year's Eve should be a good time. And but anyway, gang, also too coming up, it's in the works, it's in the planning stages, and it's starting to develop this thing. That's right, gang, the Ken Peavy's Coin Seminar Weekend. That's right, gang, November the 8th through the 10th, 2019. And yeah, gang, that's right. I tell you, it's always a good time. You're just bound to learn something. That's right, gang. Just bound to learn something. And I'll be doing the kickoff Friday night at 9 p.m. Boy, that's old. That's late for an old codger like me. But we'll stay up. We'll double down the coffee. But anyway, gang, that Friday night, we'll give a little intro to what to expect for the Coin Seminar Weekend. And we'll be doing a little segment. I'm pretty sure our segment's going to be on the half set. And I don't really know if this is going to be an interest to the numismatic community, but lately I've been stumbling across half cent, not so much the coin itself, but how it was used and etc. So we may be going more into that part of the history of that coin than the history of the coin itself. So anyway, gang, that's right. Friday night, we'll be kicking it off for the Coin Seminar weekend. And I tell you what, gang, giveaways. Now, we'll be having a giveaway on our segment as well. However, there is a grand finale giveaway for the whole event that you kind of really want to kind of pay attention to. You know, each show basically is going to have a clue. That's right, gang, clue. You're going to Charlie Chan the thing. Each show is going to have a clue that you're going to want to gather to try and help yourself figure out the solution to the riddle, the question, or etc., or whatever Ken just may have up his sleeve, and to figure out how to win the Coin Seminar Weekend Finale giveaway. And speaking of giveaways, just kind of dwell on this a little bit more. Each show, now some shows, I won't say each show, but most of the shows are having giveaways themselves. So great time. Bound to win something, bound to learn something, and have a great time with the coin community. Check it out, Coin Seminar Weekend, November the 8th through the 10th. And I'm excited for this one. I don't know why, but yeah, we are excited for it. Also, too, speaking of the Coin Seminar Weekend, now, if you would like to participate, send Ken an email. Now, the slots are starting to fill up, so if you do want to participate and do a segment, why, just drop Mr. Ken TV there a email and see what slots are available, and we'll get you signed up. There you have it, Coin Seminar Weekend. And we're going to take a minute to catch up with chat. Believe it or not, that was all unscripted. Wow, Reiser live. But anyway, gang, and let's see, who we got. They're not working? Wow, that's weird. It did the welcome one, right? Oh, I thought it did. I thought it did the very first one after I plugged it back in. Yeah, we'll take a kind of quick cruise over here for a second. Did you type? I don't even see you typed anything in. Oh, there you go. That is weird. Okay. Well, anyway, gang. Well, Rosie is definitely not picking up on anything or anybody. All right. Well, we may have to, when we time for the giveaway, we're probably going to have to go back and do the old-fashioned. Oh, wait a minute. There, she's starting to wake up. Well, she's waking up as if she wants to do the giveaway. So she's doing something. Well, what she's doing, I don't know. But anyway, gang. All right, try and catch up with chat. And Tin Cup Tim. Hey, Tim, how are you? And I found one of those Balboa small. Really? That? I tell you, I would love to find one Melody Tekken. And Charlie, I got your mail, but I cannot ID the button. Oh, of course, now it's been so long, I don't remember. You can't send me a picture. I don't remember. And Jersey History Honors, hi! And I tell you. Anyway, gang, I'll try and catch up with chat a little bit, make sure there's nothing I need to and final prize, Whitman Morgan Dollar album. All right. And hey, there's Liz. Hi, Digging Canuck. How are you? And you know what? I wonder if see, I can never remember her real name because she looks like Liz. I always call her Digging Canuck. What's her name again? Miss Judy? Yeah. Miss Judy is a, what is she? She's something at Allie's school. Secretary at Allie's school. See, I can never remember her real name. I just call her Digging Canuck. You have a twin in New Jersey, believe it or not. And I wonder if I could. Yeah, I wonder if she would mind if I took her picture and then, like, put them together and say, does this gal look like this gal? But anyway. Welcome, Liz. Hi. We did that. And anyway, hey, Vern, how are you? But anyway, gang. All right. Well, I can tell you, tonight has more of a relaxed feel for it. We have kind of like an afterglow thing. But basically, we can call this segment "What Reiser Did in His Summer Vacation in October." And but anyway, we are. Hey, there's Miss Linda Wallace. Hi, hi. And but anyway, gang. So we're going to start off now. When we have to go on vacation, and glad you guys made it back from Salem in one piece, or is you an entity? We're always an entity. And but I tell you, but anyway, gang. Now we did have to break up the traveling bit a little bit. We had to kind of make several stops on our way to Massachusetts, and because of certain issues. So we kind of broke up in stages, and we eventually did get to Massachusetts. Massachusetts was the ultimate goal of where to wind up, but we kind of took in some side trips and side stops. And then we're going to throw something up here, and have you look at it. And there. Hey, what's that? Okay, now there's Reiser looking at something. Hey, what's in here? And what is in here is actually funerary statuary of the interred. And we'll see if we can get these up here. There's one. All right, how come the other one's not popping up? And all right, computer. Oh, okay. There we go. And yeah, what is actually in there is a statuary for basically the deceased. And I kind of like Disney World. I was waiting for them to start singing, "Hello, my honey, hello, my darling." No, anyway. But anyway, gang, this is that old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow. This is actually this vault is in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. So yeah, gang, that's right. We stopped at Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and visited the old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow, and also visited the grave of Washington Irving. But anyway, gang, the old church of Sleepy Hollow. Now, the old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow is listed on the National Register of Historic Places as Dutch Reformed Church. And it is a 17th century stone church located on Albany Post Road, basically otherwise known as Route 9 in Sleepy Hollow, New York. And it's 5 acres. And again, not just the 5 acres, but also too, it's actually kind of a little bit separate from Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, but it's kind of fused together. And yes, gang, that's right. It is the church and cemetery that is prominently featured in Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, it is the second oldest extant church and the 15th oldest extant building in the state of New York. And it was renovated after an 1837 fire. And of course, the fire didn't do too much to it because it's mainly stone. But anyway, some of those renovations were reversed 60 years later, and further work done to it in 1960. It was listed on the register in 1966 among the earliest properties so recognized. It had already been designated a National Historic Landmark in 1961. It is still the property of the Reformed Church of the Tarrytowns, which holds summer services there as well as on special occasions such as Christmas Eve. And I tell you what, now the basic history of it, basically, right in the same little community, a man by the name of Frederick Phillips, the first Lord of Phillips Manor, owned the vast stretch of land spanning from Spoyton Duville in the Bronx to the Croton River. After swearing allegiance and later being granted his manorship from the English, he chose to establish his country seat at what was then known as North Tarrytown, where the Pocantico River flowed into the Hudson River. A small community had already been established there when he arrived in 1683, with 50 burials in the small cemetery. He built the first church for them at the southern end of the cemetery. Philip's wife died in 1691, and he soon remarried. His second wife, Catherine Van Cortlandt Derval, urged him to build a more permanent stone church for his tenants, and later in the decade he obliged her, being its architect, financier, and aid in its construction. Basically, some have said that the pulpit was built with his own hands. A marble tablet in front of the church gives its completion date as 1699, and the tablet was placed in the 19th century. However, and it is seen more likely that the church was finished by 1697. And the congregation was organized that year, the same year the first pastor began serving. The early history of the church and its members was recorded by Dirk Storm in his book Het Notite Boek der Christelijke. Oh, I'm going to torture this Dutch. But anyway, he wrote a book. And he wrote a book about Philipsburg, the manor of Philipsburg. Anyway, it continued to serve as the Church of Phillips Manor through the Revolution. That's right, the American Revolution, when the family's lands were confiscated by the state for siding with the crown. That's right, old man Phillips, why, he was a loyalist. At least his family was. At that time, the special pews for the lord of the manor were removed, and the plain oak benches for the tenants were replaced with pine pews. Thereafter, it continued without the patronage. Washington Irving, whose Sunnyside estate, which we did not get a chance to visit, but sure enough, the next time we are in the area, we will be visiting Sunnyside. Actually, we did kind of have a slight little idea that we would try, but being Halloween, and being just, well, it's not even Halloween yet, but being in fair proximity to Halloween, tickets are gone. That's right, you have to anytime you get near this area, why, yet you, in near Halloween in October, why, yet you gotta have tickets ahead. But anyway, gang, Washington Irving estate Sunnyside was just a few miles to the south, made the church famous when he gave it prominent mention in his early 19th century Halloween short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. He later gave yellow bricks from the church to outline the construction date on the wall above the door at Bolton Priory in Pelham Manor, New York. In 1837, as we said before, fire damaged the church. During the repairs, some significant changes were made to the building. The main entrance was moved from the south facade to its current location on the west. The windows and door entry were changed to the Gothic arches, then in style, and given brick surrounds. Inside, the north gallery was removed and the west one enlarged. The original ceiling beams and pulpit were replaced. 60 years later, the church was renovated again for its bicentennial. That work was reversed in the 1837 renovations by restoring the original ceiling and reproducing the original pulpit. The Tarrytowns had grown through the 19th century and 20th century for that matter, and a branch church had been built in Tarrytown to minister to the expanded congregation. Eventually, that church became the main church, and the original building was used only for special occasions, a practice that continued until the most recent renovation in the 1990s. Currently, worship services are held from June through September, and there you have it. Old Dutch Church located at Sleepy Hollow, that's right, North Tarrytown, New York. And I tell you what, gang, if you ever do have a chance. Now, the Old Dutch Church burial grounds is like a typical burial grounds, but once you kind of branch over and bleed into, maybe not bleed, but go over into Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, it has more of a park-like setting, and they have some wonderful, wonderful tours that you can take and see some people of notoriety and etc. who are interred there, and they have, they have some magnificent architecture as far as the vaults themselves, and I tell you, they have, like I said, wonderful tours. And but again, around this time of year, be sure to get your tickets ahead of time. So anyway, gang, that's it for the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and the Old Reformed Dutch Church. And but anyway, gang, I tell you, we'll try and catch up with chat and off with her head. It's okay. And Hey, Sandy, have you ever stayed at the Lizzie Boarded House Bed and Breakfast? No, not yet. And actually, on the way home, we went through Falls River, did we not? Yeah, well, it's not like we're not going back. And she said me, and not me. I'm crapping myself. What? He's not crapping himself? Not me. I'm not crapping myself. Says North Jersey. Oh, well.
Walking around the lake at Sleepy Hollow Cemetery in the dark.
What? We wandered all through that cemetery in the dark.
Yeah, but we had a guide in the lantern.
Like she would protect us.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you going to do with that lantern? Well, we'll shine it out. Back. Yeah, okay. Oh, goes. Dirt Diggers UK. I grew up 40 minutes from Sleepy Hollow. Went there on Halloween, All Hallows Eve, many a time. Oh, neat. Ichabod Crane is buried on Staten Island. Yes, I've actually seen pictures and photos of that gravestone. That's pretty wild. Hey there, Maddie. How are you?
Are you lagging a little bit, Dave? People saying your mouth isn't matching up with your words.
I've seen a lot of people have issues with that lately on the YouTube. I don't know. I could be. But anyway, gang, the next stop on the way up, we followed the Hudson River up. And then we tried to take the interstate east, rather. And unfortunately, traffic was horrendous. This trip was probably known for its traffic. I've never had to drive in so much traffic. So we kind of went up north, and we tried to go on the interstate, and the interstate was crawling. That's right, gang. The interstate was crawling. So we got off the interstate and took a lovely drive via Route 6. That's right, Route 6 goes across New York State and goes through Connecticut and etc. And I think eventually goes through Massachusetts. But anyway, we went on Route 6 to Hartford, Connecticut. That's right, gang. And what you're looking at is the Mark Twain House. And one of the things that's been said about the Mark Twain House, I tell you, I love it. And one thing that's been said specifically by Garrison Keillor, the writer, says it looks like that Mr. Twain just may come home at any second. I mean, the house is that well done. And because it looks like, yeah, people have just, they're just not home, and you're kind of being intrusive and kind of going into a stranger's home. And I mean, it's that well done. I mean, everything's in place, everything's ready to go. You could probably sit down and have a meal at the dinner table, and it's ready to go. But anyway, gang, the Mark Twain House and Museum in Hartford, Connecticut was the home of Samuel Longhorn Clemens. That's right, gang, Mark Twain and his family from 1874 to 1891. It was designed by Edward Tuckerman Potter and built in the American High Gothic style. Clemens' biographer, Justin Kaplan, has called it part steamboat, part medieval fortress, and part cuckoo clock. Clemens wrote many of his best-known works while living there, including The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Prince and the Pauper, Life on the Mississippi, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, A Tramp Abroad, and A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Poor financial investments prompted the Clemens family to move to Europe in 1891. And by the way, he just had some rotten luck. He dumped then, I think it was over $200,000. I forget what the equivalent is now, but it's in the millions. Over $200,000 into a page typesetting machine. That's right. Basically, it sets the little letters for print, like either for a book or for a newspaper. But at the same time, this man whose poor financial decisions, he kind of kicked Alexander Graham Bell to the curb. He would not invest in the telephone. It's like, gee, Sam, invest in the telephone. Don't invest in, that thing. I mean, he could have been wealthy beyond his imagination if he did just quite the opposite. But anyway, gang, Poor financial investments prompted the Clemenses family to move to Europe in 1891, being significantly cheaper there. The Panic of 1893 further threatened their financial stability, and Clemens and his wife Olivia and their middle daughter Clara spent the year 1895 through 1896 traveling so that he could lecture and earn money to pay off their debts. He recounted the trip in a book called Following the Equator. Their other two daughters, Susie and Jean, had stayed behind during this time, and Susie died at home on August the 18th, 1896, of spinal meningitis before the family could be reunited. They could not bring themselves to reside in the house after this tragedy and spent most of their remaining years living abroad, and amongst other places, including New York City and Reading, Connecticut. The building later functioned as a school and an apartment building and a public library branch. In 1929, it was rescued from possible demolition and put under the care of the newly formed nonprofit group Mark Twain Memorial. The building was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1962. A restoration effort led to its being opened as a house museum in 1974, and in 2003, a multi-million-dollar LEED certified visitor center was built. That included a museum dedicated to showcasing Twain's life and work. Now, so for some of you old heads out here, including myself, before that addition was built, you would enter the Mark Twain house through the basement. That's right, gang. You started your tour. There was the office in the basement where you could actually see the page typesetting machine, and this is where you bought your tickets. And in the basement is also where the small gift shop was. No, none of that anymore, gang. They have a separate enormous building, and no, it's not a broken record. I said that 3 times. Is now located behind the coach house, and oh my goodness, they have such a wonderful gift shop, and they have about an hour-long movie that you can watch. It was actually made by Ken Burns, and I tell you what, wonderful expansion. But anyway, gang, back to this. The house faced serious financial trouble in 2008, partly due to construction cost overruns related to the new visitor center. But the museum was helped through publicity about their plight, quick reaction from the state of Connecticut, corporations, and other donors, and a benefit performance organized by writers. Since that time, the museum has reported improved financial conditions through the recovery, and was was marred by the 2010 discovery of a multi-million-dollar embezzlement by the museum's comptroller, who pleaded guilty and served a jail term. Well, that was horrible. The museum claimed record-setting attendance levels in 2012. It has featured events such as celebrity appearances by Stephen King, Judy Blume, who I think now is deceased. Didn't Judy Blume die somewhat recently? John Grisham, and others. It has also sponsored writing programs and awards. Also in 2012, the Mark Twain House was named one of the 10 best historic homes in the world in the 10 Best of Everything, a National Geographic Books publication. But anyway, gang, that's right. The Mark Twain House. I tell you, when you go to visit, like I said, it looks like he's about to come home any second. But great place to see. They also have various. Oh, I tell you what. They also have various tours that you can do. You can do like the standard house tour where you're taken through with a docent, and they show you each room and give you a little bit of history through each room. And or you can take one with an actor. That's right. The actor they had, Mark Twain's best friend while in Connecticut, was the Reverend Twitchell, who actually lived just down the street. You could have had a tour taken by an actor playing that character. and you know, as a mischievous man as Samuel Longhorn Clemens was, it was always found it odd that his best friend was a preacher. But anyway, that guy could have taken you through the house of that tour. And gang, that's right. If you wanted to stay there late at night, or not so much late at night, but early into the evening, we'll say, they actually have ghost tours of the Twain house now. That's right, gang. You can actually take a haunted tour of the Mark Twain house. Now, we will not say if it's haunted or not, or if it's spooked or anything like that. I would imagine that it must have something intriguing there. And but anyway, gang, that's right. Check it out. Mark Twain house, Hartford, Connecticut. It's still there. And hey, you know what? Before we get off this, I think we do have a clip. You want to see a clip? We have a clip. We have a clip entitled. Now, there's no sound to this because they didn't have sound footage back then. But here you go, gang. Here's Mark Twain. This is the only known motion picture film of Mark Twain, photographed in 1909 using Thomas Edison's kinetograph camera. It also shows what are believed to be his daughters, Clara and Jean. The location is Stormfield. That's right, the name given to his last place of residence in Reading, Connecticut. Now, you cannot visit that house, and that actually was burnt down shortly thereafter he died. But here, why isn't this? But also, too, Reading, Connecticut is also the home of the Mark Twain Library, if you ever care to visit, which has a lot of his original books that he owned. Is it not playing? Oh, there we go.
She's 81 and lives in New Jersey.
And of course, you would see Mark Twain with a cigar in his hand. He smoked upwards of 30 cigars a day. Let's see, this is 1909, so I believe he was about 74 years old. He would die the following year in 1910. It's not every day a guy can blow cigar smoke on Edison, I don't think. It's just a shame that we didn't have sound yet. Would have loved just to have known just the banter between him and his daughters. Who was that guy? Unfortunately, the one daughter does have a flower in front of her face. But anyway. Well, there you have it, gang. Mark Twain and family, and they're in Reading, Connecticut, back in 1909. And I do believe it was shortly after this, his health went rather downhill. He went on a Bermudan, I think it was a Bermudan cruise, which he became rather severely ill that he never really recovered from, and then, of course, died in 1910. I said, again, what some of the folks have been talking about. He came in with Halley's Comet and went out with it. But there you have it, Mark Twain. Well, anyway, gang, from there, that's right, we made it all the way to Massachusetts, believe it or not. And, again, even past Hartford, Connecticut, traffic, I tell you what, it forced me to stay off the interstate and take more scenic roads. Now, I did not take my metal detector with this little sojourn. And, because we thought this was going to be a vacation, and a vacation. You know, and I even had permission to take my metal detector, but I didn't. It doesn't mean that metal detecting was away from my mind at all, because I tell you what, parts of Route 6, now I haven't kind of really thought this all the way through yet, But boy, let me tell you what, parts of Route 6, just prior to, well, to the west of Connecticut, oh boy, do they look like prime hunting grounds for a metal detectorist, I say. And so I don't know, I may start doing some weekend traveling with the detector and try to hit some of these spots. Well, of course, we're going to try and coordinate. Maybe I can hook up with one weird guy I see and try and do some of the parts of Route 6 here and there. I guess he assumed he was the weird guy. But anyway, I tell you what. And then as we continued north of Hartford, we went up north to Springfield, Massachusetts. We did not stop at the casino. And Springfield, Massachusetts, we hung a right. And we tried staying on the interstate, which did not work. I think we took Route 20 for the most part, going east. And because again, like I said, I don't know what was going on with it. Was because of leaf peepers. Eventually, I probably could have found out that everybody on that interstate was going to Salem because it seemed like it after we got there. And but anyway, we stayed on Route 20 and took in the scenery. And again, it was a pleasurable drive. And I kind of would recommend doing that anyway instead of staying on the interstate. And and he wouldn't let me look for the Simpsons. And all right, Tim. And but anyway, gang. Hi, Miss Beth. How are you? And anyway, welcome. Did I say hi to the Jersey History Hunters? I better if I didn't. Hi, Jersey History Hunters. And I tell you. So anyway, gang, we made it across the state of Massachusetts. Now, because of its shape. It takes longer, of course, to go across Massachusetts than it does to go up and down. And we were staying at a hotel in proximity. We stayed about, according to the map, it's a half an hour away from Salem, Massachusetts. And it saved about $200 a night by staying a half an hour away from Salem. If you wanted to stay in Salem, it was going to soak you for about $300 a night. And I thought, we'll drive the other half hour, But anyway, I didn't. Then, of course, I found out later after we kind of went in there. We snuck in on Saturday afternoon. And let me tell you what, it was a circus. After all, it is October. It's Salem. It's supposed to be a circus. And as we arrived, we circled or taxied the town of Salem for about maybe a half an hour or an hour, just looking for a parking spot. And I tell you, it was something else to see. Now, I eventually found a spot. I found a spot on the street, which we shouldn't do after a certain time because it comes residents only. And kind of got a little fearful about the car being towed away and etc. And I have not seen that many people clustered in such a small town. And we're talking about infrastructure that was made back in 1750 versus modern day traffic. And but I tell you, now it sounds like I'm bad mouthing it, and I'm not, because we're actually going back. We're considering going back this upcoming, would it be late spring or early summer? But anyway, I tell you what. So, oh boy, I mean, it was jam-packed, and eventually I did get a little bit of a conversation in with a policeman, and I was like, I kind of parked illegally, and he was like, buddy, we don't have manpower for this mess, let alone, as long as you don't kill anybody, as long as you don't get into a fight, you're good. He says, we don't have the manpower to deal with this crowd, let alone deal with where you're parked. But anyway, just imagine that in the Boston accent. Car. Stay in your car. And yeah. But anyway, so anyway, gang, that's right. So we kind of got the feel for it. And then we weren't really supposed to go into the town until the following day. That was when Sunday was like the Salem day. And so as we're kind of figuring where we want to go, where we want to hit, where we want to see and everything. Oh, I did get hit on by a witch. That's right, at this age and whatnot. I got hit on by a witch. Oh, yes. What'd she say? I forgot now.
No, which one was got punched in the nose?
What?
She said, hi, handsome.
Oh yeah, she said hi, Hansel. Oh yeah, I tell you what, at this age, I'll take it. Oh yeah, but anyway, so we were trying to kind of figure out a game plan, and it was either going to be we were going to Uber in. Uber in would have been like half the price of actually paying for the parking garage. The parking garage we're charging $30 to park your car. In the lots were, I can't really call them parking lots because I don't understand how anybody was supposed to get in and out of their car because the doors, there's not enough room. But so we were figuring that. We were trying to figure out whether we should take the train in, whether we should drive to a neighboring town and actually take the train into Salem. Well, the eventual game plan was basically, because also too, yeah, gang, that's right. We were meeting up with Rivendell Coins in Salem. He was going to come in, join us for the touristy thing, and so we kind of had to have a game plan of how to get in, how to get situated, and how to meet up with Rivendell Coins. And well, we decided to do it super early. We decided to be there. Oh, I forget what time we were going in. Was it 8:30? Was it 10? Was it that late? Well, anyway, gang. So we got there early in the morning, fairly early. Well, reasonably early in the morning. And as we pulled into the parking garage, why we were the last car. That's right. They switched the sign around to full, and yeah, we were the last car in that garage, and we phoned into Liz. That's right, on Sunday morning for coffee with Liz near the Witches Memorial over by the old Bearing Point burial ground. And we had our little segment with Liz and called in, and then, gang, that's right, we met up with Rivendell Coins and took in some touristy stuff. And we walked the plaza there on Essex Street and saw all the shops, all the folks dressed up and etc. And I tell you what, it's kind of like Carnival with a Halloween twist. And but anyway, gang, Salem, Massachusetts. Here, we'll throw up some pictures and we'll talk about that for a second. Maybe. Oh, okay, here we go. Salem, Massachusetts. Salem is a historic coastal city in Essex County, Massachusetts, located in the North Shore region. It was settled in 1626 and was one of the most significant seaports in early American history. Salem is a residential and tourist area that is home to the House of Seven Gables, Salem State University, Pioneer Village, the Salem Maritime National Historic Site, Salem Willows Park, and the Peabody Essex Museum, which we did not go through, which I want to go back to. Because I believe it's the Peabody Essex Museum that has the largest collection of hoppers. No, not toilets. Edward Hopper, the painter. Much of the city's cultural identity reflects its role as the location of the infamous Salem witch trials of 1692, as featured in Arthur Miller's The Crucible. Police cars are adorned with witch logos. A public elementary school is known as Witchcraft Heights, and the Salem High School athletic teams are named the Witches. Gallows Hill was originally believed to be the site of numerous public hangings and is currently a park used as a playing field for various sports. Gang, like it says, it was originally believed it's actually about the site is actually about 2 blocks away from that park. And what's kind of neat, 2 blocks away from that park, even the park itself, you would think it'd be all touristy up. But no, gang, there's just basically a small little memorial garden where the hanging site was, and when we were there was one other person there, because basically there's nowheres to buy a t-shirt right there. So anyway, so it kind of gets really overlooked. In 2012, the Retailers Association of Massachusetts chose Salem for their inaugural Best Shopping District Award. I can see why, too. On January 10th, 2013, President Barack Obama signed Executive Order H.R. 1339 designating Salem as the birthplace of the National Guard. The city's population was 41,340 at the 2010 census. Now, I guess that's people that actually live there, 41,000, because let me tell you what, gang, it seems like they were quadrupled that amount just in Essex Street when we were there. Now, Salem witch trials. Now, the Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts between February of 1692 and May of 1693. Basically, too, by the way, if I offended anybody who hadn't been in the Salem area, I do apologize, because it got to a point as we were driving through the streets, I would occasionally yell, "There's a witch!" And, yeah, I don't know. It got a lot of looks. But, yeah. I did not point at you. I was pointing at people outside the car. There's a witch! Anyway.
Is it true they prefer the PC politically correct term of spellcasting Americans?
I like that. Spellcasting Americans. That's wonderful. Oh, boy. Yeah, I need to screenshot that. Spellcasting Americans. I love it. Oh, goodness. Hi?
Your poo is creeping everybody out tonight.
My poo?
Yes, because it's just in the middle of the picture.
It is, isn't it? All right. Well, anyway, back to this. More than 200 people were accused, 19 of whom were found guilty and executed by hanging, 14 women and 5 men. One other man, Giles Corey, was crushed to death for refusing to plead, and at least 5 people died in jail. It was the deadliest witch hunt in the history of colonial North America, and also, too, is basically where you get that term, witch hunt, which we hear more throughout history, including like the witch hunt of the communists by Senator McCarthy, you know, the whole communist witch hunt. But anyway, gang, it was the deadliest witch hunt in the history of colonial North America. 12 other women had previously been executed in Massachusetts and Connecticut during the 17th century. Despite being generally known as the Salem witch trials, the preliminary 1692 hearings were conducted in several towns, among which Salem was included, such as Danvers, then known as Salem Village, Ipswich, and Andover. Andover, that's where we stayed, yeah. The most infamous trials were conducted by the Court of Oyer and Terminer in 1692 in Salem Town. The episode is one of colonial America's most notorious cases of mass hysteria. It has been used in political rhetoric, hey, I just said something about that, and popular literature as a vivid cautionary tale about the dangers of isolationism, religious extremism, false accusations, and lapses in due process. It was not unique, but a colonial American example of the much broader phenomena of witch trials in the early modern period, which took place also in Europe. Many historians consider the lasting effects of the trials to have been highly influential in subsequent United States history. According to historian George Lincoln Burr, the Salem witchcraft was the rock on which the theocracy shattered. At the 300th anniversary events in 1992 to commemorate the victims of the trials, a park was dedicated in Salem and a memorial in Danvers. In November of 2001, an act passed by the Massachusetts legislature exonerated 5 people, while another one passed in 1957 had previously exonerated 6 other victims. As of 2004, there was still talk about exonerating all of the victims. though some think that happened in the 19th century as Massachusetts colonial legislature was asked to reverse the attainders of George Burroughs and others. In January of 2016, the University of Virginia announced its Gallows Hill project team had determined the execution site in Salem where the 19 witches had been hanged. The city owns the site and is planning to establish a memorial to the victims. And again, gang, like I said, the actual site is just on the outside of the downtown commons, and it doesn't get frequently looked at because where the actual site is well, it's quite residential. I mean, we were actually walking through somebody's backyard to get to it, and on the main street there is a little like a I don't know what to call it, like a little granite garden type of thing, and it gets overlooked because it's not very publicized. It's not very touristy, that little section, and there's nowhere to buy a T-shirt or anything else, so it kind of gets kind of overlooked. But it's well worth taking a look at it just to feel touch with history. I tell you, witch burnings are giving the town a bad name. Well, not unless it's 300 years later. I tell you, people were full. I cannot tell you how many people were in that small little town just last weekend. But no, well, not last weekend. The weekend before that. I imagine this weekend is absolutely bonkers. I don't know. There you have it, Salem witch trials, and I tell you, we'll try and catch up with chat a little bit, and.
Maddie says, so what you're saying is that they burned 19 small dancing Americans and they thought a big art would be better.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But wonderful for the tourist trade, I tell you. I'm thinking about building a parking garage there and retiring.
And I'm going to raise newts.
That's right. Sandy's going to raise newts to sell there on Essex Street. And, yeah. I tell you. But anyway, well, we didn't get a chance to see the world's largest, the world's largest Ouija board. It was supposed to be somewhere near the Hawthorne Hotel. We didn't walk over there to the park, but it was just kind of, it was too much other stuff to take in, and the kind of nudge your way around people and etc. Because oh man, like I tell you, this month is berserk there. But anyway, gang. Yes, they do. You can even rent them. Well, I don't know, but that's not a bad idea. You know, have a little broom rental. You know, you go to a shore town, you can rent bicycles. Maybe we can. Yeah, that'd be a good business to start right there. All right. For whatever reason, these photographs did not turn out well on the computer at all. So you just have to go with what I'm going to tell you. So since we were spending some time with writers, that's right. Now, we went from Mark Twain, probably the most important American writer of the 19th century. And I tell you what, I think it was Hemingway that said all American literature starts with a novel by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn. But anyway, we went and visited the gravesite of Jack Kerouac. That's right, gang, Jack Kerouac. And one interesting thing, he's buried there in Lowell, Massachusetts. Hey, you coin guys, you know all about Lowell. Let me find the W quarter. No, anyway. But that's right, Lowell, Massachusetts. And where Jack Kerouac is buried, they also have several museums there you can go through, including the mills and etc. But anyway, we wanted to go pay homage to Jack Kerouac. Now, being that time has passed, I read Kerouac back when I was in my college days, and for some people, Kerouac means different things. My thing with Kerouac was, oh boy, you know, the idea of hitchhiking across the country. Now, all right, kids, this is not the day and age to do this. We're talking right after World War II. We're talking in the mid to late 1940s, when this world wasn't as odd as it is now. So don't do that now. And I have no desire anymore to hitchhike. I'd rather drive my own car. But anyway, gang, to a young kid back in the, then, I tell you, I was fascinated by his book, on the road. And so anyway, like I said, we went to Lowell, Massachusetts to pay homage to the gravesite of Jack Kerouac. Now, he was born March the 12th, 1922, and died October the 21st. We were there almost to his death date. October the 21st, 1969. Jack Kerouac was an American novelist and poet of French-Canadian ancestry. Now, real quick, as you can see, there's stuff all around his little gravestone there. There's notes, there's pens, there can't really see it in this one picture, but there's a cup full of pens and pencils and etc. There's pictures of miscellaneous people you see there. I mean that the gravestone has stuff all around it. Now, when we first arrived at the cemetery there in Lowell, we used findagrave.com to find the specific location of the stone. We didn't need it because as we were going into the cemetery, not just I was planning to pay homage to the gravesite of Jack Kerouac, but there was the 3 or 4 guys. I think it was 4 guys.
No, I think it was 3.
Was there 3? I think it was 4. But anyway, well, it hadn't been 4 because there was 4 cars. There was 3 trucks and a car. So anyway, these guys, who are probably between the ages of maybe in their 40s all the way up and upwards of 60s, somewhere around there. Anyway, we're also paying homage to Jack Kerouac, standing around. One had a 6-pack of Coors Light, another one had something else, another one had a couple of Kerouac's books. I guess they were doing some readings over the gravesite. And, well, we kind of waited. We waited until they finished their thing so we could, get out and do our thing kind of unmolested, which was a scary thought because these fellas, they were hippie leftovers. But anyway, Jack Kerouac is considered a literary iconoclast and, alongside William S. Burroughs and Allen Ginsberg, a pioneer of the Beat generation. Kerouac is recognized for his method of spontaneous prose. Thematically, his work covers topics such as Catholic spirituality, jazz, that's right, gang, that's probably what really led me into some of his writings when I was younger, promiscuity, but Buddhism, drugs, poverty, and travel. He became an underground celebrity and, with other beats, a progenitor of the hippie movement, although he remained antagonistic towards some of its politically radical elements. In 1969, at age 47, Kerouac died from an abdominal hemorrhage caused by a lifetime of heavy drinking. Since his death, Kerouac's literary prestige has grown, and several previously unseen works have been published. All of his books are in print today, including The Town and the City, On the Road, Dr. Sachs, The Dharma Bums, Mexico City Blues, The Subterraneans, Desolation Angels, Visions of Cody, The Sea is My Brother, and Big Sur. And, yeah, gang, sorry, we do have a Jack Kerouac clip for you. And we're going to show it right now. And that's not right. Maybe.
Just for a day. So in the last page of On the Road, I describe how the hero, Dean Moriarty's come to see me all the way from the West Coast just for a day or 2. We've just been back and forth across the country several times in cars, and now our adventures are over. We're still great friends, but we have to go into later phases of our lives. So there he goes, Dean Moriarty, ragged in the moth-eaten overcoat he brought especially for the freezing temperatures of the East. Walking off alone, and last I saw him, he rounded the corner of 7th Avenue. Eyes on the street ahead, and bent to it again. Gone. So, in America, when the sun goes down, and I sit on the old broken down river pier watching the long, long skies of New Jersey, and sense all that raw land that rolls in one unbelievable huge bulge over to the West Coast, all that road going, and all the people dreaming in the immensity of it. And now I know by now that children must be crying in the land where they let the children cry. And tonight the stars will be out. And don't you know that God is Pooh Bear? The evening star must be drooping and shedding her sparkler dims on the prairie. which is just before the coming of complete night that blesses the earth, darkens all the rivers, cups the peaks, holds the final shore in. Nobody knows what's going to happen to anybody besides the forlorn rags of growing old. Think of Dean Moriarty, I even think of old Dean Moriarty, the father we never found. Think of Dean Moriarty, I think of Dean Moriarty.
Cool, hip, man, yeah. But anyway, gang, there you have it, Jack Kerouac. And I tell you what, he still remains a pretty good seller at the bookstores and bookstores. What's that? But anyway, gang, now the neat thing about where the area we were in Massachusetts, we could get everywhere from our centralized locale there in Andover. So of course we went to Lowell. We went back. Well, we didn't stop. We went past the hotel, and then we went out to Cape Ann and did a little scenic drive around the North Shore area. And it goes through Gloucester, it goes through Rockport, it goes through coastal towns there at that part of Massachusetts. So we'll put up some pictures and lighthouses and. I don't think that's Rockport, but I think that's near Rockport. And let me tell you what, gang. There are so many nice and beautiful communities around that area, including, that's right, gang. I don't know if you happen to be in the area, including a little park called Dogtown. And I've been doing some research since I've been home about Dogtown and whether or not you are permitted to metal detect in it. Now, so far, I have not seen any rules or regulation that prohibits the metal detecting of Dogtown. Now, why would you want to? Why? Basically, Dogtown was a colonial community that basically became abandoned by the mid-1800s. And now that whole area is I don't even feel call it a park, a preserve maybe. And there's trails going all through it. There's carvings and there's all kinds of stuff like that now. But anyway, I do believe if I get back to the area, I do want to try a little bit of metal detecting, not only along some of the beaches, but also to there at Dogtown. But anyway, gang, I'm going to talk about Rockport, Massachusetts. Oh, what a beautiful town and a beautiful cemetery. Speaking of the cemetery, I was actually picking up colonial bits of plate and plateware out of the cemetery, believe it or not. And but anyway, Rockport is a seaside town in Essex County, Massachusetts. Why, the population was 6,952 at the 2010 census. Rockport is located approximately 40 miles northeast of Boston at the tip of Cape Ann Peninsula. It is directly east of Gloucester and is surrounded by three sides by the Atlantic Ocean. And but I tell you what, it is a beautiful, beautiful place, and I can't wait to get back there. And gang, our final spot, which I tell you what, I don't have that many pictures of it because you're not allowed to take photography inside, but I will tell you what, it is very, 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 very worth your while. I tell you what, this has probably been one of the best pirate-related museums I have ever been inside. And now, why, yes, I did, Riv. Hi, Riv! I tell you, did you take a picture of that darn red fishing shack in Rock? You know I did. And are you really talking about the one that's behind the cemetery? Because that is actually really weird if you are, because I was intrigued by that red building behind the cemetery. But anyway, gang, last stop was Yarmouth, Massachusetts. And we stopped here at the Whittier Pirate Museum. And like I tell you, this museum was absolutely wonderful. And this museum was made by Barry Clifford, and we'll get more into him in a little bit. Now, we had a grand time. Now, from the area we were at, it's about a 2-hour drive southeast from where we were staying, and in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. And really, I think that was probably the best part of being on the interstate. We really didn't come too much traffic going down there, believe it or not. No, it was fairly easy sailing, I believe. But anyway, gang, so we get there, and now it does cost about, I think it was what, $20 per person or somewhere right around there. And for this, what you may think as the steep price, it was well worth it. Let me tell you what, gang, it's just not a room full of artifacts and that sort. No, gang, everything is wonderfully interpreted, and I tell you, their artifacts had some wonderful interpretation to them. And the tour itself was we just did the self-guided tour, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Now, after you go through all of the stuff and whatnot, you get emptied out into one of the main rooms, and there's stuff being preserved that you can actually take a look at, and basically stuff either being inside electrolysis or some stuff that is actually awaiting for electrolysis. You got some stuff in fish tanks being reduced and whatnot. And there at the premise was one of the divers, who I won't mention his name. But I tell you what, gang, now the tour itself probably took about 45 minutes, and I probably stood and talked with the diver for probably about an hour and a half. And unfortunately, we talked more about Captain Kidd, than we did about the Pirate Bellamy, who the museum's about. But anyway, gang, I tell you what, oh boy, did it just light the fires under me as far as getting back to the Captain Kidd series. And I tell you, I was able to share information with him, and he shared back. And I tell you, he's actually the diver who we were speaking with. It actually has a book that he has written about Captain Kidd that he's kind of putting the finishing touches on. And what was kind of weird was I was able to share with him some letters from the New Jersey colonial governor by the name of Bass, and that he never had seen before. It was wonderful to share like that, and I tell you. And with that, he actually kind of took us a little more in depth, and actually showed us some stuff that he was actually working on, including some early Spanish silver. And I tell you, it's just neat to hold in your hand that Spanish silver that comes from the depths of the ocean. But I tell you. But anyway, gang, it was a great time. Now, Barry Clifford is an underwater archaeological explorer, best known for his discovering the remains of Samuel Bellamy's wrecked pirate ship, Witta, the only fully verified and authenticated pirate shipwreck of the golden age of piracy ever discovered in the world. As such, artifacts from the wreck provide historians with a unique insight into the material, political, and social culture of the 18th century piracy. Citing federal admiralty law in 1988, the Massachusetts Supreme Court ruled that 100% of the Witta wreck rightfully belonged to Clifford, and he has kept the Witta collection intact without selling a single piece of the more than 200,000 recovered artifacts, which includes tens of thousands of coins, more than 60 cannon, and the everyday objects used by the crew. Clifford also has exclusive dive rights to the site, which is patrolled by the National Park Service and United States Coast Guard. Clifford maintains a large private facility in which the majority of the Witta artifacts are kept for conservation and examination. However, Clifford exhibits a variety of the ship's artifacts as well as from many other shipwreck discoveries for the public to enjoy at his Witta Pirate Museum in West Yarmouth, Massachusetts, which is a smaller selection of artifacts on an international touring exhibition through a National Geographic Premier Exhibitions joint venture called Real Pirates. And let me tell you what, gang. I was talking to Rivendell Coins about this. Now, he has seen the National Geographic sponsored touring exhibition, and let me tell you what. I am most envious. I really want to. If that ever comes into our area, I will be most definitely going to it. Now, the WITA project has been called a model of underwater archaeology by the Massachusetts Board of Underwater Archaeological Resources and is the subject of several book and television documentaries on the National Geographic Channel, the Discovery Channel, History Channel, PBS, BBC One, A&E, NBC, and others, and has been featured in virtually every major print publication, including the New York Times, the New Yorker, People, National Geographic Magazine, Parade, USA Today, the London Independent, Cape Cod Times, and etc. You can find it everywhere. And there you have it. And to round this all out, actually, the Wooded Pirate Museum, we went from there and we drove to Mystic Seaport, Connecticut, and we were there at closing time, and unfortunately we kind of thought, we're going to wait and save that for when we have Allie with us. And from there we decided, well, do we stay? Do we go ahead and drive home? And for whatever reason, we decided to drive home. And this is where we're going to round out the trip. You ready? That's when Reiser made the mistake of going, hey, you know what? Let's use the George Washington Bridge. And there you have it, gang. That's right. That was what Reiser did on his summer vacation in October. And,
You skipped a whole leg of our vacation. You skipped our very first stop.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Well, that's more of your channel, not my channel. I know what that's.
Show her.
No, that's yours. You can show her.
This was bought in Asbury Park on our vacation.
There you have it. Should we mail it to North Jersey Detector?
No, I'm keeping her.
Oh, okay.
I like her.
And there you have it. Well, anyway, gang. So, like I said, tonight was more of a afterglow segment than it was our normal show. But I tell you what, creepy. Yes, it is. North Jersey. It is creepy. But anyway, gang. All right. Well, with that, I tell you what, we are going to. He bangs a gong and gets on it on who? What? I don't know. But anyway, gang, we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway for this evening and get the heck off of here. And next week's show, we'll probably have our usual show, not our normal show, our usual show. And I tell you what, we're going back to some original ideas, and we're kind of molding our shows a little differently. Like I said, we are changing the format just slightly. We're going to see more of what we're working on and what we're researching. But anyway, gang, I tell you, it's about time we do the giveaway, eh? And we're going to go ahead and switch screens here and get on over to Rosie and give Rosie a look at and see who she is picking up on. And Rosie, okay, there you are. Anyway, gang, here we are. All right, lookers, heads up. Why, you've got to have something into the chat so that Rosie knows that you are around and about. And it seems like she's waking up. I hope she's waking up. She's only showing 8 eligible, and I think we got about only 16 in chat. And is that what you show, 16? Yeah. So, you know what, we're going to refresh Rosie real quick. But anyway, lurkers, do be sure to have something in the chat so Rosie knows you are around and about. And people have been finding that if you trash talk her, that she takes notice. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything really to that. But anyway, like I said, gotta have something into the chat. And believe it or not, Rosie did go with us on vacation. And just in case we're able to do something for last Tuesday. And but yeah, things just were in such a place that we couldn't. Although I kind of regret we could have used the phone to live stream, and It would have been wonderful to show that one truck driver. But anyway, we'll give this a... Yeah, this truck driver was just busy arguing with himself and smacking the steering wheel. It wasn't like anybody could move. Everything was at a standstill, and he was having some sort of royal fit. I haven't seen one of the grandkids ever have a tantrum like that truck driver was having.
He was having a major meltdown and then some.
Yes, yeah, meltdown. I think that's an understatement. But anyway. Rosie was partying while you guys were away. Saw her downtown with a bunch of rough-looking Fords. I knew Rosie was always a Ford gal. Oh, I tell you. All right, Rosie. Come on, Rosie. Come on. Pick it up, Rosie. All right, we'll give her a couple more minute or so here to kind of get situated, and then we'll go ahead and select tonight's winner. And anyway. Rosie is grinding gears. And I tell you what. Never again in my life will I use that George Washington Bridge. Oh my goodness. Or that part of 95. Oh yeah, I knew better than that. Rosie's still working off the hangover. Oh my goodness. Hey, field guy, how are you?
It's your radiator, Charlie. You always up.
Well, anyway, gang, here we go. All right, we're going to do it. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang. Hey, congrats, David Carlisle. You've won tonight's giveaway. So do send me your address and we'll get this stuff right out to you. And tonight's giveaway is not only the Miss Linda necklace, but we're probably going to throw in there a couple other little things to keep it company. But anyway, gang, that's it. Oh boy. All right, do stay. My chalkboard is gone. I have no idea where my chalkboard is. Oh well. We'll see if we can do this from memory. Anyway, gang, dude, stay tuned. Oh boy, I tell you what. Thursday, you have Digging Canuck going on with Off the Cuff. Oh, here it is here. Thursday, you have Off the Cuff with Liz. Thursday, and my time is all kinds of fingerprinted out. Looks like it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, gang, yeah, that's right. Sunday, you can also catch Liz again with Coffee with Liz at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sunday, that's right. Oh, Sunday, it's Ken Peavy's The Big Show, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's always a good time. And I tell you what, probably the biggest coin giveaway on the YouTube. That's right, and it's done weekly. So check it out. Always a great time. But anyway, gang, we are going to sign off. Well, all right. Well, thank you for tuning in. And next week, hopefully we'll be getting out metal detecting. This past Sunday, unfortunately, got rained out. And Jersey History Hunters, oh my goodness, I tell you, gals braved the rain. But this old geezer can't do that no more. But anyway, we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, be out this Sunday metal detecting, and we'll hopefully have something worthwhile showing. Anyway, gang, until next week, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back. That's right. Reiser's Treasure Hunting Emporium signing off. We'll catch you all on and around the tube. All right, gang, have a great night. We'll catch you around. Exiting thing. That's right. I remembered. Oh, my goodness. I tell you. I almost forgot it. Exiting thing. Where's the exiting thing? Exiting bit now.